Welcome to another episode. Today's question is there any way to put an end to greed? I'll repeat the question. Is there any way to put an end to greed? Yes, there are ways. Greed is there because you want to achieve something. You are comparing yourself with others and try to get a better car, better house, a better lifestyle, something always better or more than others. Our comparison. So start comparing first. Stop having an image of yourself. Find out what are the necessities of life. Try to plan and achieve the necessities of your life. Then there is no greed. You need not compare. You need not have an image of yourself in the society. What is your requirement? Plan for it. Work for it. Achieve it. So we will see first from J.Krishnamurti's book, Public Dialogue in Madras. So to go into this question of greed and see if the mind can ever be free of all the contamination and the trials and corruption of greed. How do you look at the problem? We are greedy by nature, by the culture, or the society in which we live. Our education and spiritual religious endeavor has made us very greedy. Both the world and the non-world, they have made us greedy. We all know that, obviously, not only greedy for money, position, greedy for enlightenment, whatever that may be. Greed for liberation, greed for better relationship, greed for sexuality, sensation, and so on. Multiplication of every kind of greed in which is involved envy. Right? We shall discuss that. If we are really concerned with greed, with this envy, imitation, conformity, which we will go into in the world in which all this is included, then we must be prepared to see the immense danger of greed, the real danger of it, and act instantly. That is direct action. That is real freedom from greed. Not merely to discuss how greed arises and explain various ways and means of getting rid of it while you are holding on to the greed. To be greedy, the word, to possess, to acquire. Greedy involves envy, comparison, imitation, conformity. All that is implied, surely, in that word envy. I want to succeed as somebody else is succeeding, making a name for himself in the world. That is what we want to do. I want to fulfill this something that gives me prestige, position, power, and being dissatisfied with all that. I seek enlightenment from some shoddy guru. He tells me what to do, and I want to achieve what he has achieved. All those are various forms of envy. When you are fed up with the world, finally acquiring so many things, finally you think you are not got anything. All this materials does not satisfy you. So finally you want enlightenment, liberation from all this. You think that is the final achievement. Greed for it. You think there is somebody who has achieved. Take him as a guru. Listen to him. Do what he says so that you will have the highest of all, the liberation or enlightenment. So this is the basis for greed. Next, it is about comparison, trying to achieve something more, envy, all this is involved. Next, we will see from Osho's books, two books, Compassion and Revolution, and the book of Secrets. But your religious preachers are explaining, give up anger, give up greed, and everything will be alright. The poor man listens to it and thinks that anger and greed can be dropped. But they do not drop. And those preachers are very strange. From the other side, they create greed in the same man. They say if you drop anger, you will attain heaven. And it never occurs to them that if the man drops greed in order to attain heaven, he has not dropped greed at all. The greed to attain heaven is present in it. It is in a different form. The preachers say, you drop this, drop that, then you will reach heaven. That is another form of greed. It is not different. The greed to attain heaven will come. They are saying to the man, if you drop this, then you will attain that. What they do not know is that greed to attain is still greed. There is no difference to it. They are telling him, if you donate a rupee here, you will get a millions up in heaven. Once I attended a yajna, a fire ritual on the banks of the Ganges. The so-called sannyasins were preaching, if you give 1 paisa in charity here on earth, you will get a million times more up in heaven. Let go of greed and give it to charity. Now the poor man who is giving a paisa is doing with the same greed. It will be good to get a million times more. I can't lose by doing it. This man's greed is being exploited, and they are preaching it to him to give up greed. They are inducing greed. They are telling you, give a rupee here, you will get a million rupees in heaven. That is inducing greed, not moving away from greed. The man who gives thinks he will get a lot more in heaven if he gives a 1 rupee. So he is not going to lose anything. That idea he gives. That is greed. No one gives up greed in this world. Yes, greed does drop. If someone attains to such a vast wealth, the greed starts to be a disturbance in it. Then the greed drops on its own. That wealth can be attained, but it happens through transformation of life. And what is the meaning of transforming life? Sometimes it happens that you may find a non-greedy man who is enjoying momentary pleasures, but you cannot find among your saints a man who is not asking, demanding for eternal pleasures. The greed in them is even more. You can find a non-greedy man among ordinary men, but you can't find a non-greedy man among the so-called saints. They also want pleasures, but they are more greedy than you. You are satisfied with momentary pleasures and they are not. Their greed is bigger. He is talking about the saints. Ordinary man's pleasures are small, greeds are small. He is satisfied with that, at least momentarily, until he goes on for a next bigger pleasure, that greed. But the saintly man, the so-called saintly man, his greed is much bigger. He wants things eternal. He is not satisfied with small, so he is never satisfied. He wants eternal pleasures, heaven, infinite greed, ask for infinite pleasures. Remember this. A finite greed is satisfied with finite pleasure. They will ask you, what are you doing loving a woman? She is nothing but bones and blood. Look deep into woman you love. What is she? They are not against woman. They are against the bones, against the blood. Woman is of gold. Then it is okay. They are asking for woman of gold. They are not in this world. So they create another world. They say, in heaven there are golden damsels, apsaras, who are beautiful and who never age. In the Hindu heaven, apsaras, the heavenly girls, remain always at 16. They never grow older. They are always 16, never less, never more. So what are you doing wasting your time in these ordinary women? Think of heaven. They are not against pleasure. Really, they are against momentary pleasure. If through some whim God gives this world eternal pleasure, your whole edifice of religion will fall down immediately. The whole appeal will be lost. If somehow bank balances can be carried beyond death, no one will be interested in creating bank balances in the other world. So death is a great help to priests. A greedy man is always attracted by another greed. If you tell him and convince him that this greed is because of his misery, he is the cause of his misery, and that if he leaves the greed he will attain blissful state, he may try, because now you are not really against his greed. You are giving his greed new pastures. He can move into new dimensions of greed. So Tantra says that a greedy mind cannot become non-greedy. A violent mind cannot become non-violent. But this seems very hopeless. If this is the case, then nothing can be done. Then what does Tantra stand for? If a greedy mind cannot become non-greedy, a violent mind non-violent, a sex-obsessed mind transformed beyond sex. If nothing can be done, then what does Tantra stand for? Tantra is not saying that nothing can be done. Something can be done, but the dimension is completely different. A greedy mind has to understand that it is greedy and accept it. Acceptance is the first thing in transformation. Try not to be non-greedy. The greedy mind has to go deep within himself to realize the depth of its greed, not moving away from it, but remaining with it, not moving in ideals, in contradictory ideals, but remaining in the present, moving into the greed, knowing the greed, understanding the greed, and not trying to escape from it in any way. If you can remain with your greed, many things will happen. If you can remain with your greed, with your sex, with your anger, you go. That will dissolve. This will be the first thing. And what a great miracle it is. So what Osho is telling, what normally religion says is, do this, do that, then you will be happy in heaven. But that never happens. It is a continuation of greed and much bigger greed. So be with your greed. Understand that. Resolve that. That is the way of getting out of it. Not projecting it into future or next birth or in heaven. That is not going to solve the problem. So we have seen that greed can be got out, or you can get out of greed if you question and try to see what it is. Find out that it is all images. It is comparison with another. So drop all that. Then you will not have greed. So with this, we will end this episode. Stay with me for another episode. Subscribe to my channel. Share this video. Thank you.